Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Book Direct Show's A Chat With series, where we are chatting with property managers, owners, and suppliers about their views and tips on direct bookings. Today, my guest is the one and only Vince Perez. Hello, Vince. How are you?
Hello, Deborah. Great to see you as always.
And you. Thank you for your time today. We're just going to launch straight into it, and I just wanted to know, when did you start hearing about direct bookings? When you started in the industry, did you start off with direct bookings, or is it something you discovered later?
Great question. So Book Direct is actually in my DNA. I first started my career in the hotel business. So we had a huge emphasis on Book Direct. I worked for a pretty big corporations in the hotel side, and then I worked with smaller ones. And those are the ones where I really learned the Book Direct efforts and how much they could really improve the overall outlook of the business because we were in heavy competition. So it was really important for us to get the guests in-house, get them to come back, but more importantly, really make sure that they got Book Direct because we just couldn't, quite frankly, afford from a competition standpoint to continue to pay the OTA fees predominant for our business. It was just not something we could do. So when I came into the vacation rental side of it, it became pretty apparent quickly that it was heading in that direction. I came into the business when Home Away had just launched. So I'd seen the movie, so to speak, and right away recognized that we've got to make a shift to our brand because that's the only way we were to drive more direct bookings. We had to really change we had the services thing down pretty good in our business, but then it was marrying the services component to the brand component. And that's what allowed us to where we're at today, where we're driving 100% of our bookings direct. And it leads to profitability and scalability and happy owners.
I think once you start with Book Direct, you never look back.
It's yes. There. Why would you?
Exactly. So why do you think direct bookings are so important?
I just think from a business standpoint, right? It really serves the overall health of your business. And certainly, I'm not advocating that you just completely turn off the OTAs. I think the OTAs perform a wonderful service for our ecosystem, but it's important to diversify that portfolio so you have balance. Book Direct is what actually drives people to the loyalty component, right? One of the things that really impressed me about the vacation rental industry that really honestly surprised me is how loyal the guests truly are, more so than the hotel side. And I think that's why you see a lot of hotels moving into our segments. And so that, to me, is a very critical component of why Book Direct matters, because that's when you're really laying the foundation for that steady business that allows you to grow, bring on more owners if you choose to do so, or just be a really strong boutique operator in a very saturated market. You can still survive and you can thrive, in fact. And I think we're seeing that today, right? The pandemic taught us, if it taught us anything, it taught us the importance of profitability. And one of the key components of the really good operational foundation is to make sure that you're driving as many direct bookings as possible, because that leads right to the bottom line.
Post-pandemic, we saw a growth in direct bookings. Do you think that growth is going to continue?
Well, I could tell you real-time data right within the Stays Group network itself. That was a real acid test, if you will, for us, right? Was January 1st of 2022, because 2019, it was feast or famine, right? Or famine or feast in this case. And so in the following year, we saw this massive pent-up demand. So 2022 is the first year that the OTAs have fully monetized their investments in advertising in our industry in the last 2 years, right? It's a normal pace. So for us, the data sets we're still seeing is we're still driving direct bookings. Our visibility is getting stronger because of the pandemic. Quite frankly, we were advertising, we were marketing throughout the whole pandemic. We never took a month off. So we were able to really get our brand out there. And I want to say on average, our markets are up 45%. So that's pretty amazing, right? Considering we're up against these big juggernauts. And it just proves again what happens when you have built a strong brand, when you've got a steady, loyal base that knows who you are in your areas, your regional areas, and how that matriculates as you go across nationwide. So I don't see Book Direct going away anytime soon. I do see it getting stronger in many of these markets. So I'm excited to see what the future holds.
I think guests are getting a little more savvy, beginning to realize that they can book direct, where a lot of people didn't even realize that was an option. So I think with all the direct bookings after the pandemic, I think a lot more guests are getting educated and they're looking for
Absolutely.
us now. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll given economic times we're about to see here, 15, 30% markups, those matter, right? So all of a sudden that makes a big difference when you're staying a week on vacation and you've got high gas prices as we do here in the US. Every little dollar matters. So that's on us as operators to make sure that we're constantly educating these guests on the value of Book Direct.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I know that in your region, you do get a lot of return guests, but them aside, what is the one thing that you do that you think drives direct bookings?
Consistency. It just really is consistency across the board. Whether you go to our reviews, whether it's your first time staying with us, we try to remain as consistent as possible. Yet we're upping our game, right? So every year, we really reassess what we're doing, how we're doing it, how we can do things better. So from a product perspective, I think that's critically important, right? Because we're in such a competitive environment. That for us, it's really just staying consistent in the services that we deliver, but always kind of upping the game as you do that, because that's the thing that they notice. And of course, for us, I want to say 15% of our bookings this year have been from what we would call new cohorts, right? These are people that have normally stayed in hotels that never stayed in vacation rentals. So they have these expectations, right? And I think managing those, educating, and building that relationship forward on what this product set looks like is, I think, a big step in driving Book Direct, because it's, first of all, it tends to be a bit more, at least for our area, a bit more expensive than a typical hotel today, but they're getting so much more, and I think that's the eye opener for them. It's like, wow, I've never really thought about cooking in house, but I got my whole family here. Let's do this, so it's just really, it's exciting to see them open up those opportunities for themselves and say, wow, this is a great product, something we should take advantage more often.
That's great. That's great. Now we're up to the last question. Now you have answered this question once before, and I'm going to compare. Once we're off, I'm going to compare if it's the same. Vince, what is the one word that you would use to describe the benefit of a direct booking?
Profitability.
I'm going to check that with the last one.
Please
time
do.
you answered that.
Please, because if it's a different answer, I'm in big trouble. Otherwise we're out of business.
Profitability. That's a very, very good word. Very important. So it's a lovely way to end the interview. Thank you so much, Vince. I know you're on a little holiday and time to go back to that holiday. Thank you very much for your time. And I'll see you in Miami at the Book Direct show.
I look forward to it. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you very much, Vince. Bye.
Bye.